Beauty's mother anxiously waited in the palace, but her daughter never arrived. She asked the other girls if they had seen her, but they claimed not to know where she was. They continued dancing and celebrating, oblivious to the worry and fear that was beginning to grip Beauty's mother. She knew something was wrong, and she was growing increasingly concerned for her daughter. She went to find Beauty's father, hoping he might have seen her, but he shook his head and said he hadn't seen her since they left the house earlier in the day. As Mne stood in the palace, trying to make sense of her daughter's absence, she remembered how excited Beauty had been about the ceremony. She remembered how she had been practicing and perfecting her dance moves for days. She couldn't believe that Beauty would simply choose not to come. Filled with fear and worry, she implored her husband to race home with her to see if Beauty was there. They both knew that something was terribly wrong. Meanwhile, the prince watched the maidens dance, but he felt no connection to any of them. Something in his heart told him that none of the girls were his future wife. He turned to his father and said, "I have not found my bride." The king halted the music and announced to the crowd that the prince had no wife. The crowd stared in disbelief, and the maidens stood frozen in shock. The jealous girls were filled with rage and disappointment, and their legs trembled with anger. Beauty's parents rushed back to the palace, their hearts racing with fear. They reported to the king that their daughter was missing, and the king grew concerned. Mne told the king about the girls who were to come pick her up for the occasion. The king summoned the girls, Anna, Banta, and Olivia, and they all claimed to have no idea where Beauty was. The king sent his guards out to search for the village and the surrounding areas for Beauty, but the guards returned empty-handed. Mne wailed in grief, tears streaming down her face as she held her husband close. The king promised to send more guards out at first light, but Mne could not sleep that night. She lay awake, clutching her husband's hand, praying for her daughter's safe return. The next morning, as the sun rose over the village, a man named Dinta prepared to hunt for the day. Dinta was a skilled hunter who provided meat for the palace every day, and this morning was no different. He ventured into the thick bush, and as he did, he heard a faint cry for help. "Please, someone help me! Is anyone there? Please help me!" The voice pleaded. Dinta was puzzled. Who could be in the thick forest so early in the morning? He followed the voice and discovered a deep pit where a girl was trapped inside. She was exhausted from shouting for help. He immediately started lowering a rope down into the pit to pull her out. The girl, whom Dinta recognized as Beauty, was weak and trembling. She asked for some water, and Dinta gave her a drink. He knew that her parents would be worried sick about her, and he wanted to get her back to them as soon as possible. But on the way to the village, he had a change of heart.